again. Hello, people. Good mornings and good afternoon. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. Or excellent. What? What's up? What's up, Steam Deck fans? Steam Deck Tribe, Nation, Universe, World, Legion. What's good? Mob, what's happening? Squad, what's up? Nerds, geeks, and freaks, and you investigators. What's happening? Look, Valve needs to create a SSD attachment update. You're like SSD attachment update. Okay, this update is for the 64 gig model, 256, 512 LCD models, or even the OLED models. So let's say you got the Steam Deck, right? Let's say you got the Steam Deck, and you got the 64 gig model, or the 256, and you're running out of internal storage, right? But you don't want to open the Steam Deck. So with the SSD attachment update now, let's say this was like a 2 terabyte SSD, right? This is a 64 gig model SSD, right? The internal one, but I swapped it out. So this, let's say this was a 2 terabyte SSD that you just bought, right, for your Steam Deck. But you don't want to open the Steam Deck and do and replace the internal, the one that was inside it, or inside, like the one that was inside it already, like the 64 gig or the 256 or the 512. So what you'll do is this: you'll take this and then attach it to the internal externally. So you put it in an enclosure like this, right? You're about to run out of room. Internal storage, because your system is just getting updates and updates. So you'll take this and then attach it to the internal externally. That way you don't have to open the Steam Deck to replace it. You still have the option to replace the internal manually. But if you don't want to do it manually, the other way to do it now is like, okay, you take this and like put it in an enclosure like this, or put it in an enclosure and then attach it to the internal externally. And so like when you turn on the Steam Deck now, it'll actually like, okay, do you want to attach this SSD to the internal storage? You choose the option like yes, and then the system will format the SSD and then attaches itself to the internal. So now when the updates are coming in you're good, because you don't have to worry no more about opening the Steam Deck and like trying to replace it manually. Now for people that have the experience of like replacing the internal SSD, they will still have that option to do it. The update now is for people who don't have the experience, or who don't want to say pay another person to like pay another person to like install the 2 terabyte SSD internally. Okay, it'll save them some headaches. So if they bought one of these, like from the 2 terabyte SSD, and let's say you got the 64 gigs, 256, 512, but you're about to run out of room, you take this and then attach it to the internal. So now when the updates are coming in now, you don't have to worry about like, okay, you're out of space, because you don't have no more room to like install any more updates. But when you attach it externally now, you're covered. So yeah, I was thinking about it this morning when I was sitting there messing around with my Steam Deck, and I'm like, oh, Valve need to create an update, and SSD update, SSD attachment update for the internal storage. So you take this, attach it to the internal, and then you continue on using your Steam Deck. So I think because it will save a lot of people it will save a lot of people headaches. You know, for people who don't know how to install the SSD manually. For people who don't want to do that, they just want to. They like the Steam Deck the way it is. They don't want to. They don't want to open it. They don't want to mess with anything inside of it. They just want to take this now and attach it to the internal and just keep using. But then also have the options to attach SD cards and other external storage to the Steam Deck. That would be a good update for the Steam Deck, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people who have the Steam Deck, they're probably running into a problem right now. They probably got the 64 gig model. They probably got the 256. They probably have the 512, the LCD models, or even the the OLED 512 gigabyte or the 1 terabyte one. And they're probably sitting there watching YouTube videos about how to upgrade the internal storage, but they're not. But they're still not getting it. They tried it. They practiced it. They tried it. They tried it. They still not getting it. So the SSD so now the SSD attachment update now will save those person who don't know, who are having troubles like upgrading their internal storage, and it will save them some headaches. You know what I mean? But for people who are experienced, they still can remove. They still can do it manually. They still have that option. This update is for people who don't know, people who are having troubles just adding an external storage, attaching like adding a SSD externally, attaching it to the internal. So yeah, that's what that update is for. So I think Valve need to create something like create an update for people who have those type of Steam Decks, the 64 gig model, 256, 512. You know, and the update also applies to the OLED models. You know, so yeah, you know, and it will save a lot of people headaches. You know, because some people, they have the Steam Deck. So there are people out there that have the Steam Deck and they don't want to open it. They like it the way it is. They don't want to open it. They don't want to mess with any of the components by opening it. But now they have a 64 gig model, 256 or 512, and they're running out of storage space. But they need more storage. So this now with the SSD attachment update, now you take this and attach it to the internal externally and just keep using your Steam Deck. So yeah, it will save a lot of people it would save a lot of people headaches, I mean, down the road, and for people that are experienced and know how to swap the change the SSD. This update is not for them. This update is for people who don't know how to do it, or who don't want to who don't want to mess with the Steam Deck. They like it the way it is, and yeah, they don't want to go to another person so they don't want another person like opening the Steam Deck for them and try to do it manually for them. They just want to continue using it. So this update now, all you're doing is taking a 2 terabyte SSD, and this is for the internal. You attach it to the internal SSD that's already in the Steam Deck, and then you can continue using the Steam Deck. So whenever the Steam Deck gets a Steam OS update, a Proton update, it'll go straight to this. It'll go straight to this drive, because the internal is already full, and then you can continue using your Steam Deck. So yeah, I think that would be a good update for the Steam Deck for people who don't have the technical experience or the expertise or the know-how to do it manually. It's for that's what this update will be for. But for people who know how to do it manually, this update don't apply to them. It don't apply to them. It only applies to people that don't know how to remove the internal SSD manually. Now, for the people that got the experience, it could save them some headaches too, but they might like doing it manually because they're used to building PCs and they're used to just messing fixing stuff, and fixing and repairing. That's their little craft, their hobby, their speciality, if you want to call that. So but they still have that option if they want to, to like not opening the Steam Deck. But it just from day one they like to build and repair stuff. So but this update now is for people now who don't want to, like, they got the 64 gig model, they don't want to open it ever. They got the 256 gig model, they don't want to open it ever. They got the 512 gigabyte model, LCD models, they don't want to open it. They like it the way it is. But now they're running out of room now. So now this 2 terabyte now will attaches itself to the 64 gig model, 256 or the 512 LCD models, or even the 512 OLED model or the 1 terabyte. And once it attaches itself, now you can continue using the Steam Deck, and then go on from there. But for people that are experienced, they still have the option to like go to open the Steam Deck and then replace the SSD manually if they want to, So but I do think this will be a good update for like in a Steam OS update, or in the next Steam OS update. I think that would be a good update for the Steam Deck, because it will save a lot of people headaches, Because some people, there are people right now that got the Steam Deck. They don't want to open it. They like it the way it is. They probably got the 64 gig model, and they're running out of storage. They got the 256 gig model. They got the 512. They're running out of storage. So now you just take a 2 terabyte SSD now externally and attach it to the internal. So whenever Valve releases a Steam OS or a Proton update or a GE Proton or any one of those updates for like for GOG or for Epic Store or whatever, any kind of updates, it goes straight to this. It will go straight to this. This is already almost filled. It's filled up. So this now continues collecting the updates, so you don't have to open the Steam Deck. But for people who that are experienced, they still have the option to go inside the Steam Deck and then replace it manually. You know what I mean? So and then carry on from there. But I think the Steam Deck needs that type of update. I had a PS3, and I had made a video about this. Made a video similar to this, where the PS3 needed external SSD support. But when it comes to the Steam Deck now, this you can take this, attach it to the internal. Let's say this is a 2 terabyte, right? And this is a 64 gig model. You attach this to the internal externally. So now the system formats formats this, right? The Steam Deck formats this. But now you take the 64 gig model now and attach it to this. So this will be like, say, about 2 terabyte and about 2 terabyte to like 64 in some space, something like that. So and go on from there. But now you still have the option now to put your 2 terabyte here, and then still put some more external SSDs to your Steam Deck. So yeah, I think it will be a good update, man. That it needs to happen, because some people, they just don't want to they don't want to open the Steam Deck at all. They don't, you know. So Valve need to fix that that one little problem with the Steam Deck, with the 64 gig model, 256, 512, or even the 512 OLED, or the 512 OLED, or the 1 terabyte OLED. You know? So yeah, because the Steam Deck gets updates, and they're coming in like this, just coming in, you know. And then your games, they get updates, they have DLCs, they have expansions, and they're coming in, and all those files, all those programs, those launchers, they all get updates. So if you got the 256, if you got the 64 gig model, 256, 512, an SSD attachment update externally is needed. If you don't want to open the Steam Deck at all, you don't want to mess with it. You like it the way it is. You don't want to take a screwdriver and open it or mess with anything. Even though, you know, you don't want to mess with anything. This SSD attachment update now comes into play. Yeah, and Valve need to jump on it, you know, because this is 2024. Every game that the Steam Deck have, they're getting updates. They're getting DLCs. They're getting expansion. Then you have your weekend PC sales. Then you have your seasonal sales, like your spring sale, your summer sale, your autumn sale, your winter sale, your lunar sale. You know, got all those sales, and you got those holiday sales too, with all those games. So all those games, they need updates and expansions and DLCs. But then the OS needs updates. All the files, all the programs that makes the Steam Deck function, they all need updates. So you have a 64 gig model, you have a 256, you have a 512 LCD model, or you have the OLED, or you have the 1 terabyte now. You have the Steam Deck. You don't feel like opening the Steam Deck or mess with it or do anything do anything to it, and you're about to run out of storage. So now an SSD now attachment update is needed. You take this and attach it to the internal, so you can have more room to collect all those updates. Yeah, that is needed. So Valve need to jump on this, man. Updates are coming in like this. Oh yeah, coming in, man. So it'll save people, and this update, it'll save people some headaches. But this update now is for the people who don't want to open the Steam Deck. They just bought the Steam Deck. They love it. They don't want to mess with it. They don't want to open it. They don't want to tamper with anything in it. They don't want to tamper with anything inside the Steam Deck. They like it the way it is. They got a 64 gig model. They got a 256. They got a 512. Updates are coming in like this. Steam OS updates, all kind of updates for the Steam Deck. The games are getting updates. All of them, you know. And your internal storage now, your internal storage is about to run out. So you would take this and then attach it specifically directly to the internal. You still can attach external SSDs to the Steam Deck, but this 2 terabyte now is for the internal only, so you can continue getting your updates. You know, so yeah, that update will help the Steam Deck help the Steam Deck users that don't have the know-how or the experience or the expertise on how to do it. They probably watch all kind of YouTube videos. They probably watch all kind of YouTube videos, and and it's not. They're still not getting it. they're still not they're still not they're still not getting it. It's still not working. So and they want to continue to use the Steam Deck, but they don't know how to they don't know how to install a 2 terabyte SSD manually. So now the SSD attachment update now will save those people. They're about to run out of room. You take this and then attach it to the internal. That way the Steam Deck can continue getting its updates. Okay. Now for those people that are very gifted at formatting a hard drive and know how to do it manually, they still have that option to do it manually. But for people who don't know how to do it manually, the Steam Deck SSD attachment update is for them. Just saying. So yeah, and I think Valve needs to jump on this. This is just one problem I see with the Steam Deck. People that some people that don't have the expertise and know how to replace the SSD manually. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there, but there's some people out there that's still not getting it. They practice it, they try, it's still not working. So the SSD attachment external, the Steam Deck's external SSD attachment update will save them a lot of headaches. So yeah, and that's my thoughts on the whole SSD issue with the Steam Deck. But for people who have the expertise and know how to do it, they still have that option of like opening the Steam Deck, changing it manually if they want to. So yeah. Or Valve can, in the next Steam OS update, when Valve comes out with it, they need to put an update where you just open the Steam Deck, swap the they need to, in the next Steam OS update, they need to have in the next Steam OS update, they need to have it where like, okay, you can just you can manually do it. You can put any 2 terabyte SSD in the Steam Deck. You just open it, swap it out. The operating system recognizes it, and then it formats the SSD for you, and you can carry on from there. So yeah, but an SSD attachment update is needed on the Steam Deck, and the whole point of this SSD attachment update is to make sure that nothing goes to waste. The 64 gig model doesn't go to waste. You can still use it, or the 256 gig SSD don't go to waste, or the 512 gigabyte model don't go to waste. The SSD itself, it doesn't go to waste. You can still use it. The only difference is now, with the update, now you're taking another SSD now, and you got the 64 gig, 256, or 512. And what you're doing now is attaching it to this, so you can have some more space, so you can continue collecting updates and carry on from there. So yeah, I think the Valve need to address this with the Steam Deck. They need to, okay, and they have the other option now to put an update in the Steam OS, where you can just open the Steam Deck and just replace it. It's like just replace the internal SSD with a bigger one, and then go on from there. So yeah, but that's my thoughts on the whole SSD issue with the Steam Deck. Yeah. So I hope that this was helpful. For people who out there that are struggling, that are having issues trying to upgrade the SSD in their in the Steam Deck, you know. So yeah, because those updates are like this. They're just coming in like that. They're just coming in. Updates, DLCs, expansions. You know, yeah, they're coming in. And every game that you install on the Steam Deck take up a certain amount of space. And then that game has DLCs, has a little update here and there, and expansions. Oh yeah, so you Steam Deck fans, you need it, you know. So this update will really help though. It's called Steam Deck's SSD attachment update, you know. So yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video though. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars Star Trek thing, or Dark Sector. Go. Peace.